So I decided to do this job with the pan, the splash pan off. I put my brace on, okay, so that you can see it wide open. Everything's wide open. Take the drive shaft down. It's only a couple bolts on the differential. All right, and then we're going to go into the valve body. And so you basically there's videos that show you kind of how to take the valve body down. But that's what we're going to take out. Let's see if we can use our own method. So just to show everybody that clip, nobody seems to have a good shot of that clip. That's the clip for the parking brake. So I really don't know if you can hold the valve body up while getting that clip on. I guess it will be hard. I think I'm going to try it. I think messing with the brake, unless I absolutely have to, in that little socket there in the back, is probably harder. But let's see. Always have the option of putting it on and then putting it back in, I guess. So let's try it that way. But that's what the clip looks like in there. So that's the top of the shift selector shaft. You could see like it's kind of a little messed up. I mean, you know, it's not perfect. It's been in there for 200,000 miles, but I think if I clean it up, it should seal okay. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to get the seal out. There's where the seal is. So you just get a screwdriver and pop it out. 1, 2, 3. It should come out very easily. So again, I just used some emery cloth and I just kind of sanded that down lightly. I think it was like 150. So then I got these things, which I was originally going to use with the drill. They come with an attachment, but it was too short to fit around here. So I had to drill this out, and then I put it on here, and I just used it to clean it up. It's most of it was done with the emery cloth or sandpaper, and then I just cleaned it up with this. So you'll see the picture before. It didn't take me that long, maybe a couple minutes. I mean, you have to be tenacious when it comes to this stuff, but it's pretty clean. It's not perfect, but it's clean enough. Only this section here touches the seal on the bottom, so you don't have to worry too much about the top. Now we're going to take this out, and there are videos that you could watch to take this out, but we're going to clean this up, and I'm going to show you some of the valves, because I'm not doing the entire shift kit. This is a basic shift kit for the 32 RH T22165. It's a different number on here. It is SKTFSC. And part of what this kit does, it increases the pressure, and I'm going to go into that a little later on, where there's a pressure adjustment in here and there's a pressure regulator, and that's part of what they change in order to, as far as I could tell online. I mean, it was difficult to get information on the strands, but basically the 727, 904, 32 RH, and a couple more you'll see. So we're going to take a couple of these valves out, and some of them we're going to change some stuff on, and some of it we're just going to clean up. This is the torque converter clutch. The solenoid, from what I understand, engages to put pressure into this this valve here, and then that goes off to the torque converter. There's a line that comes out of here, and you'll see that. You can see pictures of it. I have pictures of it anyway. That's a common problem on the 32 RH, is that the solenoid Let me get that, hold on. So the solenoid, which goes on the valve body, this will put up a code on your computer. So one other thing I want to say about leaks, there's a seal in here. This seal here is the most common one to leak, and that you can probably get at a parts house. I got it at parts house. But there's a seal in here for the throttle, and that seal's harder to get. I had to get that off of eBay. I wasn't sure if it was in a full kit, but I wasn't really rebuilding the entire valve body. It's even hard to get a kit for this valve body if you want to stay OEM. What I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish here in this is to increase pressure, because the pressure was low from the factory, so I'm trying to increase pressure. And what part of what they do here is this adjustment is in, saying that the pressure regulator is a lower pressure now, and when you, after you put this kit in, did I have that in the camera? So this pressure is normally lower from the factory, and after you put this kit in, the pressure from the pressure regulator side is going to be higher, and so you're going to back this adjustment off, which is actually going to make it lower for the higher pressure. If you put it in all the way, it's going to be probably too high. I mean, I don't know exactly what the pressures would be based on the adjustment. According to Chrysler, it doesn't really change the pressure that much, but I'm sure that this kit, with the springs that you change in this kit, change it a lot. These transmissions seem to me to have low pressure from the factory. That's how they operate, and I think that's the reason why some of them really get hot. I mean, mine's get hot, and I know that I talked to people who've had these who said that they normally run hot. So I have a double cooler on mine, and we'll go into that too. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the some part of the kit. I'm not going to do the drill outs. There's drill outs on the valve body, which will give you, suppose this is what I think I saw. I mean, it's hard to get this information, but I think that the drill out points, the 3 drill out points, give you a harder shift 1, 2, 3. So I'm not going to do that, because all I need is an increase in pressure. I don't need the thing to shift hard, and I don't need really the shift kit to make it like kind of souped up or nothing. It's a 6-cylinder Wrangler. What we want is we want it to operate right. So hopefully this works. So just briefly, because this is more of a mechanics video, I'm going to take this clip off. I'm going to drop the throttle pressure shaft out, and then this is going to come off, and behind here I'm going to show you the valves, because people talk about these kits, but they don't always say what's going on. So I'm going to try to explain that the best I can. So wondering about how to get these back on, most of these kits come with a tool that goes between the ball and the shaft here, and when you put this on, you put that underneath. Again, real quick, I took a picture of this because I'm going to try to keep it original, or close to the original adjustment as possible. So this has to come off for the throttle shaft to come out, and so we're going to take this off, and then we're going to pull the shaft out, and when we put it back together, we're going to put the same amount of threads in that we took off. Okay, so this is, here's with the selector off. This is the manual valve that they talk about in the kit, that your shift selector, and I guess sends pressure to the right spot. So I talked to technical assistants, and they told me that I don't have to, but they said that this notch has something to do with going in reverse right. You're supposed to cut a notch half into the valve body here with the file. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put the kit manual valve in, and I'm going to change the springs on the pressure regulator part that controls pressure, and I'm not going to do anything to the throttle, but just clean it out. But first I'm going to check these valves, make sure everything's clean in here, and I'm not doing anything to this section, but just make sure and it's clean, and clean it up, and then hopefully this will fix my pressure issue. Okay, as per instructions, manual valve. You can see, hopefully, it's about halfway. See that? Oh, there it is. All right, so halfway through, file, don't go crazy. got to be careful. So that's about on that part there. Okay, nothing complicated here. I'm just going to take this plate off. I'm going to take this plate off, and I'm probably going to take this plate off. So, and then I might have to take this clip out here to get these valves out, but I'm pretty sure that's either second, yeah, to go in the second and third, and we're just going to clean it up. So nothing complicated here. We're not changing anything. So I'll go on to the next part. Okay, so full disclosure here. This pressure valve over here that takes the new springs, a shim, and a washer, it's a little hard to change. You know, you got this bracket here that you're going to take off, 2 screws, and it's spring loaded, so you have to push and hold the springs together as you screw the one, you know, at least one of the screws to hold it in, and it's close tolerance, as you can see here through the throttle valve. So it's not easy, but basically what you're doing is you're taking this valve out and you're going by the kit, and you're putting 2 new springs in to replace the one that was there, and you're putting a washer. And also, I don't know if you could see this, but again, I can't really take it apart, but I had to file the edge here where the shim and the washer go in. That's where they go in, and they have to fit loose. So I filed this edge. So that's the 2 butcher jobs I had to do to this valve bodies. I had to file this to make that space that they wanted. He said it had something to do with the reverse, and I had to file inside here very carefully, and hopefully that works out. But it's in, and it's got tension, and I checked the valve for movement. My little plastic thing here, I use plastic to move these valves, and they're all good. So it's all cleaned out. The kit's mostly put in except for the new manual valve, which I'm going to do now, and we have to check for that adjustment, but we'll do that right now. So that's the tool to hold the ball in for the shifter shaft, and just going to pop it in. You just push the shaft on top of it, and again, there's a video of this, so it's not a big deal. I just wanted to show you how the tool's placed in there. This is the kit I got from eBay, which was the only way I could get this. It's the shifter seal and the throttle shaft seal. So I'm going to put the throttle shaft seals. It's really easy. You just pop it right off and put a new one on. Very simple. So there's a quick layout of the torque converter body, valve body. And we're just going to clean it up and put it back together. Okay, about check ball placement. This is something about this on the instruction, but there, those are small ones, and you got the one big one, and you got one up here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the one big one. Okay, on the shift kit, they basically tell you to take this check ball out. Again, I'm not going for a hard shift. Okay, so a little review and stuff from this angle. Here's the valve for the torque converter clutch, and here's the pressure regulator here. On this side is the manual valve where the shifter hooks up, and in there next to it is the throttle valve, which I think you should change this seal. If you're going to change the seal on the shaft, I think that oil could be coming from there, but I guess if somebody's going to do it in the car, I just thought it was worth it to clean this up and to change both of these seals. So hopefully I don't have to deal with this again. There's supposed to be an adjustment. Most guys say that they're not adjusting them, they just are adjusted right. when it comes in the kit. I don't know if every valve body's like that, but mine was pretty much like right on target. So I didn't have to make the adjustment for this tang here. Here's the converter, another converter valve, I assume. The tube coming out to it, and here's the solenoid, which I got a standard. I wanted to get the best one I could, but this is what I winded up with, a standard. I hope it works. And I'm just going to put a little bit of transmission fluid in. Can you see that? I'm going to put a little transmission fluid in the hole where the solenoid goes in, and then you just screw it in. It's pretty simple. You just have to make sure that you run these wires right. I think that's important, and that this has to be in a certain place. So I took a picture of the original way it came, and that's how I'm going to put it back in. So basically, based on the picture that I made, it just goes down there under the screw. Carefully put it under the screw, and then it'll go to the bottom of the valve body, and then make your connection. And that's this all together with the spring ready to go up. And the only thing we'll have to do is, once we place it up there and get it in, we'll have to put that clip, that little clip there, on the brake, the parking brake, that parking tang, whatever you want to call it, parking lock. One last thing before we go under the car, from TCI, I think it is, I bought this screen kit, which replaces the filter with the screen. Some people suggest that maybe because the filter is so thick and the way it's made, that it reduces a little flow. So hopefully this will give me a lot of flow. This screen is really, really fine. I don't see any problem occurring. They've been using screens on transmissions for years, so I'm pretty confident that this might help. So I got this kit. I don't think it was expensive. I think it was like 30 bucks. So that might be something you consider if you're having an issue with pressure. Okay, so I took my jack away, so hopefully you could see the setup I have here. I got this bracing system here that I've had for a couple years, and every time I have to take the cross member off, that giant guard, whatever the hell it is, which I'm going to re-engineer, I put this system on, and it carefully, I don't know if you can see this, it's carefully mounted there to spread the weight between the engine and transmission, because the motor mounts up there are way too far in the front, and this jack is just here for support. I could take this jack off, but I wouldn't want to leave it that way, so I do that if I need more space. But this opens everything wide open on a Wrangler. I mean, you can get to everything straight from the bottom. I mean, you could see how wide open that is for me to be able to get that valve body back in. The other thing is, I'm going to do a little pressure test for the servos. I'm not adjusting the bands because I didn't have a problem. Try to get some light up here. I'm not going to adjust the bands because the drums are really clean, and I'm not having a problem with the shifting, especially when it's hot, which normally a transmission would do if it had some kind of clutch problem or whatever. So I'm going to pressure test on these two ports here. Is how you do the little pressure test for the servos, which I'm not anticipating any problem. And that you can see that the parking brake lever. Now from the inside you could see the shift selector indicator, the electric part of it, and there's where the solenoid was. So with the cross member not mounted, you can see how my lines come back here. They go up into a primary cooler, and then they come back into a secondary cooler that hooks up to the slash guard, the cross member, whatever the hell that thing is called. It goes back here into a sensor. I don't know if I put that on before, and into a secondary cooler. And that's how I bring this transmission down to a cool 175 degrees, because otherwise it will be crazy. I mean, I could go down to like 160 maybe on a really, a hot day. So that's basically it. I ran all metal lines going into the trans, and I had that leak for a while, so this is what we're working on besides the converter clutch solenoid. And so you can see this is all wide open here, not only underneath, but even on the side here where you could easily get that seal in without damaging anything, and I was able to clean the shaft. So it's all wide open, and there's nothing in the way. You drop this drive shaft, this front drive shaft, and that should be it. So that's where I'm going to leave it there. That's the shift selector indicator switch, neutral safety. So we're going to pull that out. They say it's easier to get the valve body in with that out. I'm going to try to seal it again, and that's the solenoid connection. So I have to turn that a little to get the clip back in. So I might take that out and clean it up and seal it. Okay, just want to go over what I did to get the clip in. So you see the clip up there? I put these are 1/4 by 20 screws. I put these long screws in with the little nuts there, and I pulled them down and screwed them in maybe like about 10 threads, 8 threads, and then I positioned the valve body lower so that I could easily get to the E-clip. And it was right out in the open, and it went right on. I dropped the parking brake right in there. I think it was an easy way where I was able to position and have the valve body held up in there, and then I just mounted it up. So it went in very easy. Everything went in easy. The new seal, naturally, there was plenty of space up there on the top. I think I showed that before. Let me see if I can get some light up there. So yeah, so it's nice and clean, and the seal went right in. Yeah, I had to kind of tap it in with a little socket, but that's pretty well known. And of course, the wire for the solenoid is out of the way. Not going to hit the servo lever, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to take these long screws out and torque up my valve body, and that'll be the end of this. Just want to go over this quick. I hope. I did take the neutral safety switch out, and I cleaned it all up and put some gray sealer on there. By the way, I'm taking this neutral safety switch out. It's really easy to push that up because nothing's touching. It touches the shift selector, so that's why they tell you to, I guess, either pull it off the selector or just pull it out completely, so it makes it easier. So let me make a little view here of the adjustment on the throttle valve shaft stop. I think we did 7 turns on that off and on, and there's the pressure regulator backed out. It just went as soon as it hit. I think it was 7 turns back. So that can be adjusted after, if you want. You try to get an Allen key in there while it's in the car if you have a pressure, you want to change the pressure.